Well, we kicked off the week with a top 5% score. Not bad, but that's not why we're here, and everybody knows it. We are here to win. We are here to build the perfect lineup. Hey, you're watching The Perfect Lineup, where Josh Engleman and myself, Dave Loughran, each and every day strive to build the most beautiful lineup and take one down. Of course, 2 pitchers and a stack. Let the single lineup sims do the rest of the work there for us. And if you guys are looking to get in on the action and grab a free week of MLB sims, leave your comment down below. Let us know who you think the top overall stack is going to be on tonight's 10-game slate. If you're the only one to guess it, there is no drawing. There is no wheel spin by Josh later on in this video. You've just got it. So select carefully. And of course, if you enjoy this content, you think somewhere along the way it's helped you out, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. It goes a long way, and it's totally free to do. All right, here we go. Tuesday's 10-game action. Fun one for sure. And I'll tell you what, SP2 is gross. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But we got to talk about the 2 bona fide studs at the top of tonight's slate. And honestly, you cannot go wrong with either of them. That's it. That's a statement of fact. That is not an opinion. You can't go wrong with either of them. Because on one hand, you have Yamamoto. Stellar matchup at home against the White Sox. They're 29th in WRC+. They're 29th in ISO. Dead last in weighted on base average against righties. Dreadful team. Surprisingly, they're striking out at a sub 20% clip against righties. But either way, Yamamoto as a minus 339 moneyline favorite at home looks fantastic. However, we're going to go to Jacob deGrom. And we're going to go to Jacob deGrom in a much, much tougher matchup. And yeah, it may seem like Yamamoto is the clear option. Maybe he is. And maybe that's the direction you want to take. Let us know down below. But I like deGrom at a slight discount here on DraftKings. Listen, the Orioles have smoked right-handed pitching this season. That's not lost on me. But deGrom's not any right-handed pitcher. All right? This guy's healthy for the time being. He's holding both left-handed and right-handed hitters to a sub 300 WOBA. Both of them with a 14+% swinging strike rate. And if you look at the prop market, this is what's really enlightening here between Yamamoto and deGrom. Again, you can't go wrong. But because we're going deGrom, I'm going to try and reinforce the notion here. His outs prop and his strikeout prop are actually marginally better than Yamamoto. Whereas Yamamoto edges him out a tiny bit in the earned runs department. But overall, the props on deGrom actually look a little bit better than they do for Yamamoto. So again, pick your poison here. I'm going to plug in deGrom and an SP2. Let Josh go to work with some stacks.
9 different people got the Orioles right. Shout out to Extra Innings, because that absolutely saved you. So we need to find out who is going to win a free week of the MLB Sims at Stokastic.com. The wheel is spinning, and that means that we are going to be giving out that week to Artful Dodger 7747. If that is you, email support@stokastic.com to get your free week.
All right, so SP2 is a bit dicey on this. Actually, let me backpedal for a second. SP2 is extremely dicey on a slate where we have 20 pitchers going. It should not look like this, and it generally doesn't. And there really isn't a single arm that I like down here. So we're going to go all the way to the bottom with old Dick Fitz. Yeah, it's disgusting. I know. Look, I heavily debated Zach Gallen at 7,800. You know, I even tried to justify it, which I think you can definitely do. And if you're playing a lot of lineups, you're going to get there tonight. But his fastball is not good right now, and it's dragging all of his other stuff, even his good pitches like the changeup, way down. So eventually, I decided to fully punt. And now here's the thing. There's no real qualifying stats I can give you here outside of every other pitcher. There aren't any for them either. Fitz has the highest value percentage, however, in the top pitchers tool, and he's showing up a lot in my morning Sims run. He's $5,500. He has similar, if not identical, props to so many other pitchers that are priced well above him today, right? You know, the only question here is weather, which right now it appears we're going to have a window, but there's weather in a lot of spots, so pay attention. Gallen and Emerson Hancock would be my pivots here if you can't stomach the Boston righty, but there really isn't a single spot that just feels right. So as the saying goes, if the dick fits, jam it.
These are the days that I want to do this video more than any other day, because Laffy gave me enough salary to get whatever I want from a stack. And what I want for today, my Atlanta Braves, 4th in our top stack tool in top stack odds, 5th in top value, second in stack score, third in ownership. They're looking like one of the best teams that you can get to today. But the way we're going to go about it and their stats on the season are going to feel a lot like Texas did yesterday, who ended up being the third highest scoring stack, by the way. Let's start with Tyler Anderson. 232 x ISO over the past year and a half against lefties. 368 x WOBA. Those are really, really bad numbers. 165 x ISO to righties is essentially average. The weird part here, though, we're probably only going to have one lefty in the lineup against Anderson, and that's going to be Matt Olson, but he smashes lefties. 216 x ISO against lefties over the past 2 years. He's a $4,900 first baseman. Happy to do it. I actually think that we're going to have no problem buying the best bats in the lineup. So give me Olson, give me Acuna, give me Ozuna, give me Riley, give me Sean Murphy. I know that we're getting to the righties there, and that's not the same balance, but I think that we're getting the best possible version of Atlanta. Now, on the season, has it been going great? No, it hasn't. They're, essentially average against lefties, essentially average at home, whether that's WRC plus, whether that's ISO. The park is probably leaning a little bit towards a pitcher's park. This feels a bit like yesterday, only I'm spending more on the stack and I'm gonna spend a little bit less on my 3 extra guys. Because the moment you put Ronald Acuna in a stack, it's probably going to be a relatively expensive stack. But it worked out for us yesterday, and I think it's going to work out for us again today, mostly because they're my Atlanta Braves. So now we get to the best part of the video, building the lineup in the single lineup simulator at Stokastic.com. Laffy gave me DeGrom and Dick Fitz. They're both in the lineup. Everybody I mentioned earlier is also in this lineup. Murphy, Olson, Riley, Acuna, Ozuna. I'm spending big, but I still have 3,700 left to get a second baseman, a shortstop, and another outfielder. And to get those guys, all I have to do is click complete this lineup. And that ends up giving us 3 separate one-offs. Tyler Fitzgerald in at second base. Maybe not the best play in the world, but I'm willing to take it. And we could probably find some stacking if we wanted to. We also get Corey Seager in at short. And we're running back Jarren Duran, same as yesterday, who had 20 fantasy points. So let's hope that he can do it again. Let's find out how good this lineup looks. All we do, click run lineup simulation. And oh baby, did we build a gem. 108.2 sim ROI. This is definitely, I don't even want to say might be, this is definitely the best lineup we've built on the show so far. 0.3% chance to win, 3.2% chance at a top 10, and a 36% cash rate. This is absolutely loaded. Now, maybe you want to find a little bit more stacking. Maybe you want to try to save some salary elsewhere. Maybe you want to try to pay up at your SP2 and not go with Dick Fitz. You can do all of those things, but I think we gave you a pretty good blueprint for the perfect lineup.